been a long time since we've had Steve Scalise on this program, and that's on me because he's a good man. He is a fantastic GOP leader as well. Steve Scalise, these are very, very difficult times. What's being done to the country, the election system, the criminal justice system. You've got a tiny majority in the House. You guys are doing everything you can with the hearings and so forth. But regardless, you must be watching this and must be losing sleep over what's taking place with these indictments and everything.
Well, Mark, it's great to be back with you. And I think like a lot of Americans are looking at this, they're disgusted. They hate seeing agencies that are supposed to be pure law enforcement agencies being abused to go after political opponents. And look, the American people are seeing through this. I mean, I've seen national polling where people now, even with the mainstream media going after Trump every day, barely covering all of the things we've been exposing on the Biden crime family syndicate, people are seeing this. They're figuring it out in other ways, and they recognize that what they're doing to go after Donald Trump is purely political. It seems like every day either we have a bombshell hearing in D.C. against the Biden family member. It's like you could set your clock. Within 2 days, indictments come down against Trump. Maybe a poll comes out showing Trump doing even better, beating Biden in a head-to-head matchup. They go after Trump. Some of these prosecutors, look at what happened yesterday in Georgia. Fani Willis is actually raising money off of the idea of going after Trump. It's on her website. She literally put up on her website a few days ago a headline that, among other things, bragged that she was going after the former president and using that to raise money, which undermines all the credibility. People see through this, but they're disgusted by it, Mark.
And they don't know what to do about it, Steve. And it's hard to know what to do about it because what I've been saying here for some time, and I really believe this, these indictments are an indictment of the American people. This is an indictment of our legal and constitutional system. All of them, these clown charges, the Klan charges, the Enron charges, the RICO charges, the non-disclosure agreement charges. It's so out of control, and yet the Democrat Party doesn't give a damn. You know why, Steve Scalise? Because they view this as their opportunity to take control of the justice system and the electoral system and then make sure that they win and you can't even challenge them anymore. That's why.
Yeah, they're scared to death of losing power. We saw this during COVID. It wasn't about the science. So much is coming out now to expose how they manipulated the science to keep kids out of school because they just wanted control, to tag parents as domestic terrorists. And it was coming from within the FBI and some of these agencies. And it all got exposed. A lot of this got exposed because when we got in the majority, we got subpoena power. You have Jim Jordan out there. You have Jamie Comer and his oversight committee out there every day relentlessly going after the truth. But what we saw, and I was surprised at how much this has come our way, whistleblowers are stepping forward, Mark, at levels I've never seen. Some that are career bureaucrats in Washington who will admit they're Democrats, lifelong Democrats. They're disgusted by it. One of our IRS whistleblowers said he's a Democrat, but he's disgusted by them abusing these agencies to go after their political enemies. And so we're able to uncover a lot of stuff. There's a lot more coming. But yeah, people are watching it going, when is this going to end? When is real accountability going to happen? And we've got to keep pushing for that.
Well, when is it going to happen, I wonder? Because they control the executive branch, which means they control the ability to prosecute. And they don't intend to let go of it, Steve Scalise, by hook or by crook. That's why they're doing what they're doing now to the Republican Party in these states, to volunteers. You don't even know today what you can and cannot do without the threat of a possible charge being brought against you. Most of the things that they charged Trump and his folks with and all these other people with, in Georgia, as an example, are things that are done all the time. Talking about, an election, talking about how there's been fraud in the election, telling people to find more votes, not in a criminal context.
Look at Georgia.
Yep,
you're bringing this up, Mark. Stacey Abrams. It wasn't, 5 years ago that she got defeated by Kemp for governor, and she went and did a national TV circuit raising money, talking about how the election was stolen. Where are the charges against her in Atlanta? Where's Will? Is Willis ready to leak that out there too? I don't see it. But I think you saw what I saw, the Charlie Kirk article that really talked about an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a lot of Republican attorneys general. They can do some of the same things we're seeing here, and frankly, they've encouraged this by saying, okay, there's crimes that were committed by a lot of high-profile Democrats from the Bidens on down in states, and there are Republican attorney generals in some of those states too. We're going to keep getting facts out, and you see, with Jim Jordan's committee, as this thing moves closer to impeachment inquiry, because all of the facts that we've gotten out is actually forced the White House to change their tune. Remember, for months, Karine Jean-Pierre would sit up there at the podium and say, oh, don't worry, tell them this false statement that President Biden never talked about business dealings with Hunter. They said that over and over and over again until we disproved it with some of Hunter Biden's associates, who said not only did he do it, he did it over 20 times. He was doing phone calls. He was going to dinner with some of them. And then lo and behold, the White House changes its tune just a few days ago and says he was never in business. That's a huge change. And the reason that change happened is because we had hearings that brought these whistleblowers forward who countered what the White House was saying. The White House was flat out lying to the American people. And now there are people in these agencies and the people who are in business with Hunter Biden exposing the facts. There are more of those people that are coming forward. And we're going to continue, even during this break in August, to have those hearings and bring those whistleblowers forward. Who knows what they'll do? They'll go throw more stuff at Trump to try to divert you away from it. But people are watching this. People have figured out how to get this information. Frankly, the mainstream media is actually starting to cover some of it, not nearly to the degree that they go after Trump, but even they can't avoid some of this stuff because it's so bad.
We only have a minute, Steve Scalise. A quick question. Have you ever seen a more corrupt attorney general in your life?
No, and remember that this was the guy that Barack Obama presented as this great moderate to replace Scalia on the bench, for God's sake. Merrick Garland was going to be the moderate to replace Scalia. Don't forget that. And thank God that didn't happen. And Donald Trump, when he ran, he put that list together and then just went down the line with great conservative justices, constitutional justices.
But before I lose you, don't you think that's part of what's going on here, retribution by Garland to Trump? 30 seconds.
Oh, there's clearly a lot of retribution. They hate Donald Trump for a lot of reasons, and they sure don't want him to come back, and they're doing everything to stop him. And it's frankly galvanizing people more towards Trump right now.
Keep up the great work, Steve Scalise. We love having you on, brother.
God bless you. Great being with you, Mark. Keep it up.
You too.